haven't shrunk. It's a slightly larger bottle. For a fairly good reason. So, the context of what I'm about to say is about 4 hours long in total. Go watch it if you like. I think the business end starts about halfway through. But yeah, this discussion has led me to some things. I've come to realise I was wrong about something. Something quite important. It's about a label that I hold. A label I've never worn on my sleeve. It merely describes a thing I do. It's just a verb turned into a noun. But I've been convinced that despite the literal definition of this label, it has become unassailably poison. It's an unfortunate state of affairs, but the truth is, feminists control the narrative. They control the meanings of words and phrases. They are the gatekeepers of our society's language. And they have well and truly gone over our heads and defined that word. Yeah, and it means Satan now. You can't get around it. So, yes, despite a lot of reactionary pushback on my part, I've come around to following the advice I've been given. I'm going to drop that label. Because as long as people are identifying as that label, social justice warriors are always going to have someone to malign. I did a lot of kicking and screaming over this, like, how dare you play identity politics with me? Who the hell do you think you are to dictate other people's loyalties? What gives you the right, and so on? But they're right. I'm just obsessing over a non-issue, and it's actually important that I change my name, because this name's just not working for most people, particularly the people in charge of the media. And when everyone around you is telling you you're wrong, and all you have to do to be right is change one little name, I mean, you have to play that game. It's the only viable tactic, or you can't possibly win. It really is just pig-headed, detrimentally pig-headed, to go through all that for the sake of a label. So, we can't keep fighting this battle. No one has ever won this battle from this vantage point. When the majority of society is determined to destroy an identity, it's going to happen. You can't stop it with some online movement where you spend forever arguing with the powers that be. We can capitulate now and go on to win later. But if we don't capitulate on this, we will lose. So, yeah, I'm making it official. Here and now and forever. I, Dr. Random McCann, am not a gamer. Listen to it again. Go back to the beginning of this video and re-listen to all that shit I just said. All the little details. See how they line up? Perfectly. I've got to hand it to you guys. Best April Fool's prank ever. You really have me going there. I mean, imagine if you were fucking serious. Holy shit. Imagine Gamergators, after only a year and a half of yelling stubbornly at the games press, how dare you try and wipe the gamer identity off the face of the earth, you sick fuckers. Imagine if they then turned around to MRAs and did that exact same fucking thing. I mean, if that was real, it would be the most revolting fap slide of hypocrisy I've ever seen. And I've argued with hundreds of feminists. I mean, if they were actually serious and Gamergaters were actually advancing this, it would indicate beyond any reasonable doubt that it was never about the principle of you don't get to dictate people's identities. No, evidently that principle goes into the gas chambers with all of Geordie Tate's principles. You didn't like the games press doing that to gamers, but it was nothing to do with the principle. It was because you were jealous that they had a power you wanted. You were just on the wrong fucking side of the dictatorship. All it took was a year and a half. A little bit of popularity and a little bit of authority. I am talking to more than one person, by the way. It's not just Sargon I'm hearing this from. It's just about fucking everyone, but now it includes Gamergate people. Et tu, GG. But yeah, Gamergate was a reaction to identity politics. And what you're doing now is the very same kind of identity politics. And this is my reaction to it. Like, if you told me, don't make it about the label, I would agree wholeheartedly. That's good advice. But drop the label is not good advice. It is itself making it about the label. It's just drifting all the way from one gutter and into the other one. So it's a very fucking bitter pill to swallow when I respond to your request of drop the label with a principle of, no, I'm not changing my identity. And you all go, oh my God, why are you making such a big deal about this non-issue that we brought up? Why are you so rigidly obsessed with this label that we want to get rid of? What? I'm not your enemy. I just want your identity dead. Does that fucking remind you of anyone? Saying stupid, pointless, authoritarian shit about identities and then acting like I'm the one saying stupid shit about identities. But that's not a bad tactic, you see. Because MRAs are not a bad target. Because who gives a fuck about men's rights? It's not like it's something important, like video games. Was that virtue signaling? What I said just now about giving a fuck about men's rights. Was that virtue signaling? Because if that's virtue signaling, then we all just spent a fucking year of our lives virtue signaling for gamers. Yeah, you will get on your high horse to defend the virtues of gamers and gaming, but I'm some kind of dishonest, emotionally manipulative sophist for defending the virtues of men in exactly the same way. Fuck off! Fuck all the way off! Fuck all the way around the planet, and then fuck all the way back! And forever, keep doing it. Be my human Newton cradle, you utterly fucking disgusting hypocrites. And do not tell me it's different because Gamergate is over. Why is Gamergate over? Because when they told you to drop the label, you said no! They kept demanding it, and you kept saying no, and you stuck to your fucking guns until they stopped trying to erase gamers from existence. And now they have. They've stopped telling you to drop the label of gamer. Well, guess what? People haven't stopped maligning men all over the fucking media, and they haven't stopped telling us to drop the label MRA. Not at all. Even you're doing it now! And am I going to turn this into MRA Gate? No. Why not? Because it's already going on. It's been going on since before Gamergate. MRA Gate has been going on since the concept of men's rights was discovered. Whenever the fuck that was. Presumably around about the time the press started writing coordinated clusters of articles assassinating the identity of men. No, yes, that thing that still keeps happening all over the fucking world all the time. And now, Gamergaters have joined in. On the social justice side of MRA Gate. Because it's just irresistibly fun to be on that side of the argument, isn't it? Where you get to taunt people and then call them reactionary for reacting to your taunting. I mean, the MGTOWs are on that side as well, and they're fucking loving it. So the PUAs, the anti-feminists, even most of the neutrals are on that side and loving it, and they're all agreed. It would be splendid if we could all please lie about the English language and claim that advocating for men's rights doesn't make you a men's rights advocate. Everyone's agreed except you pesky men's rights advocates who insist on calling things what they are. Why can't you just fall in line and lie? This is a good lie. It's a warm, comfy lie that ties everything together and nice and out of the way. Come on, just lie. Everyone likes this lie except you. Lie, come on, lie. We want you to lie. It's easy, just lie. So, we sure as fuck could do away with this horseshoe theory that MRAs are the same as feminists. If your attitude to MRAs is that they should be disappeared using identity politics, then we have found at least one solid position that you hold in common with feminists. And that is precisely one more example than anyone has ever given us of a similarity between MRAs and feminists. No one ever gives us examples of MRAs being anything. They just talk shit about us and then go, take my word for it. The religious right, okay, they did lose their argument, okay, but the religious right lost their argument because they are legitimately wrong. You cannot compare that with men's rights advocates. Men's rights advocates lose the argument because they are escorted out of the fucking building! No matter how right they are, how fucking dare. But yeah, awesome joke. If it helps, I'm quite happy to pretend that this was all an April Fool. To look back on this years from now and go, hey, remember that great joke you played in 2016 where you pretended to become the thing you hate most in the world so you could get a rise out of men's rights advocates? That was hilarious. It's a fucking good thing we have a sense of humour. And that we are incredibly forgiving every time yet another one of our friends tries to throw us under the bus. I mean, either that or I look back on this and go, hey, remember in 2016 when you completely and utterly lost the fucking plot? When you actually became the thing you hate most in the world. That was fucking scary for a second. I'm glad we got through it. Because the only other thing that can happen is you never admit you're wrong. You just double down and double down until you're in the same hole as the SAWs, where you've said so much wrong shit that it would destroy you to admit it. And I think you're still in the safe zone, so I'll do my best to nip this in whatever bud is showing. This unified humanism of yours is an attempt to replace diversity of thought with a single catch-all label. I'll remind you of anyone. And it just so happens there is one identity that is incompatible with this label of yours, and it's MRA. At least it's the only exception I've heard so far. What else can't you be at the same time as being a humanist? Feminist? Are you getting round to that, are you? All right. As long as we're in good company down here, in the dungeon oubliette of people who don't count as humanists. Good, good, good. So, women don't get their supremacist ideology, and men don't get their human rights movements. Do you think you're helping? So you need to come to terms with this now. What just happened, what's still happening with all the people on this on that side of the argument, is you are, albeit politely and non-violently, trying to huddle me out of your safe space of identity politics while chanting, "You lost this one, bro!" No, I did not lose this one, bro. And I actually don't need to get out. Weak sauce of the world's weakest variety. Or best April Fool ever. Your choice. I'm up for anything, whoever you are, and whatever you call yourself. And please, call yourself whatever you like. Do not drop any label on my behalf, or adopt any label on my behalf. Call yourself a radical feminist if you like, that's fine. But if you say stupid shit, I will tell you how stupid your shit is. I ain't gonna stop doing that either. Fuck on.